So this gaming mouse looks really cool, but is it actually any good? What's up everybody, Corey with Freaky Tech Reviews here, and today we are taking a look at one of the coolest looking gaming mice on the market, the Mercury M1 Pro gaming mouse by GravaStar. This thing looks sick, but anytime I see a cool looking piece of tech, I wonder, is it actually that good? So let's check it out. In the box you receive the mouse, a USB-A dongle, a USB-A to USB-C adapter, a USB-C cable for wired connection, a special 4K receiver that is optional and we'll talk more about in just a little bit, and foot pads and anti-slip stickers. Full disclosure, GravaStar did send this mouse out for review, however that does not change my opinion on it, and there are some things that I'm not a fan of on this mouse that I'm going to be very transparent about. Starting off at the specs of this mouse, it has up to a 26,000 DPI for customizable precision for gaming, and it also features a 4,000 Hz polling rate for ultra responsive tracking, and it updates every 0.25 milliseconds. And while I am right-handed, I do like the fact that it is ambidextrous in its design. However, the forward and back button would be on the opposite side of the mouse for a left-handed user. It boasts a long battery life of up to 146 hours with high-speed 2.4 GHz wireless or 200 hours using Bluetooth 5.1. It also has quick recharge capabilities, offering up to 75 hours of play on a 1.5 hour charge. It comes with 5 programmable buttons with the ability to set up to 4 different profiles. It also has the ability through the software that we'll showcase in just a little bit for custom macros that you can record for personalized control. Like with most gaming mice, it has customizable RGB settings that are utilized through GravaStar's GlowSync RGB technology, and has over 16.7 million colors featuring 5 different models and an option to disable for stealth mode. Touching back on the connectivity, it supports 2.4 GHz wireless, Bluetooth 5.1, and a USB-C wired connection that provides flexibility for different setups. But it also does have the option to purchase a 4K receiver for even better wireless experiences. And GravaStar has a really cool looking software that allows you to customize all areas of the mouse, including the macro settings and lighting. I didn't dive too far into these settings, but there was quite a bit for you to do with this mouse that you could change almost any aspect of it, and I really appreciate when a company does that. I pretty much changed surface level stuff with my mice, so I'm not going to do anything crazy, but I found there to be plenty of functionality for what the average user might need. The price right now is $100 for just the mouse, and it's $111 to include the 4K dongle that provides improved latency for wireless gameplay. The dongle itself comes in at $25, so I would recommend getting it with the mouse in a combo deal. Now, I'm not a competitive gamer, so I don't need some super amazing competitive mouse, so I'm going to be looking at it from the standpoint of an average user. So let's dive into some gameplay with it and see how it feels while I'm using it in live action. Okay, so now I'm going to dive into a game of Fallout 4 really quick. It's not really a competitive shooter, but I'm not really a competitive multiplayer kind of person. Now, this mouse is a little bit on the heavy side to be considered a competitive gaming mouse, so we're just going to take a look at playing a normal game with it and see how does it feel using just the 4K receiver instead of using the dongle. Is it noticeable? And I gotta say, just moving around right now, it does feel quick. Okay, let's see how it feels. I mean, honestly, it feels really good. You know, in today's gaming mice, it's really hard to tell if a mouse is plugged in or not, unless it's just a really bad quality wireless mouse. But it feels really good. I mean, it feels super quick and snappy, almost like it is plugged in. And so, I mean, so from a receiver standpoint, like, it feels good. It feels really good and quick. Like, this is nice. Ooh. Where did that come from? Oof. There we go. Man, that head explosion was nasty, wasn't it? Easy to move around, you know, very responsive. Don't know much about battery life just yet. It hasn't run out on me, at least. Oh, hi. I feel like I can react quickly enough with it. Again, the weight is not something that I'm concerned with, just simply because I'm not a competitive gamer, right? Okay, considering I'm not a professional mouse tester, from the average person's viewpoint of if you're considering this as a gaming mouse, I think it does more than just look good. You know, when you have products like this, you want to make sure that they actually are good and they're not just aesthetically pleasing. Honestly, I think this GravaStar mouse is great. I really like this mouse. Feels good when I'm using it, and like I said, it feels nice and cool because of the metal, you know, because it's not like my hands getting sweaty on it, but it is too small. I will say that. So now that we've had a chance to test the mouse, let's talk about some of the pros and cons of it and my overall summary on it. I really like the metal frame and the sturdiness of the mouse. It is heavy for some people, but I have really big hands, so it doesn't bother me a ton. But if you're looking for an ultralight mouse to stay extra competitive and give you that edge in competitive play, this might not be the mouse for you. I do think that it feels really responsive and good, especially with the 4K receiver. And wireless gaming mice have gotten so good that it's really tough to tell when a mouse is wireless or wired, but you still can kind of feel it. And I will say that this transmitter or receiver, I think, did a really good job with it. Another thing I like about the metal frame is that it stays cool, and it also prevents my hands from sweating, which is really nice because of its open back design. And I also like the customization on their software. Not only the software itself looks great, but I like the different things that you can do with the mouse. There's not a ton of RGB options, but I mean, it only has one little glowing back to it, so there's not much you can do anyways. But the design of this mouse is really what stands out about it. The RGB looks fantastic. I like the different breathing and glowing effects, and it just looks like this really cool looking alien egg. And then the dongle right next to it also matches. So this is definitely a statement piece where people are going to ask you questions about your mouse. And I just absolutely love the way that it looks. GravaStar has a lot of really cool stuff on their website, and I do plan to check out more of their products in the future. So be sure to subscribe if you want to see more GravaStar products, because I just love their aesthetics and how they look. One more thing I'll say about what I like about this mouse is the tactile feel of how it feels when you're actually clicking and scrolling. The clicks feel great, they feel sturdy and nice, and the scroll wheel is really nice because it feels like a Logitech mouse where it kind of has that bumpy feel, so it feels like you have extra control over where and how far you're scrolling. So I do really like just the physical attributes of this mouse. But let's talk about some things that I don't really like about this mouse. My hands are really, really big. They're 9 inches from the base of my palm to the tip of my middle finger, 10.5 inches from pinky to thumb, and so this mouse is just too small for me. I'm not able to comfortably put my palm on the mouse while clicking the buttons, and that's a problem for me. I'll compare it next to the very popular Logitech G502, so you can see that it's a little bit smaller than the G502. However, the G502 fits into my palm a lot better, so it's a much more comfortable mouse for long periods of time. I'm the type of gamer that whenever I'm moving my mouse around, I tend to pick it up with my pinky and my thumb, and because this mouse is extra heavy and it has that metal frame on it, I found that it was actually quite noticeable whenever I'm moving it around like this. So from a big hand perspective, I would like to see a bit more size, or maybe an XL version come out in the future, because all they would really need to do is increase the palm area of the cage, and I think it would be a lot more comfortable to use. And then the other thing that I'm not a big fan of is I think the price is a bit steep for it. Don't get me wrong, it's a great quality mouse, and I really like the way it looks. I think it performs well. I don't think you'll be disappointed if you spend the money on it, but in today's gaming mouse world that is so competitive with so many options, it does feel a bit on the steep end. So while I do think that it's worth the price, it's not worth the price if it's not aesthetics based on what you're spending. And what I mean by that is that if you are not willing to pay a little bit more for a really cool looking piece of tech, then it's not going to be worth it for you. It is a good gaming mouse, but it's not that much different than any of the others. But if you really like the way that it looks, I do. That's why I actually think it can be worth the price if that's important to you. But overall, really happy with the M1 Pro, and I think it's going to be a fantastic addition to my gaming peripherals. We'll see how much use I get out of it because of the big hand issue, but I'm really liking it, and I want to see more stuff from GravaStar, so hopefully we'll see them grow. And if they ever come out with a keyboard that matches it, I will absolutely be bringing that to the channel, because I think that would just look amazing. But be sure to let me know in the comments down below what you think of GravaStar products and what gaming peripherals that you like. I would love to hear from you. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and join the Freaky Tech family. We just recently passed 10,000 family members, and we're growing like crazy right now, so I'm kind of wondering if we can hit 20,000 this year, but I cannot do it without you. But thank you so much for being here, and I really appreciate your time today and stopping by. Again, I'm Corey with Freaky Tech Reviews. I'll see you next time.